Those who know must teach, African proverb. Through their monopoly over information that are being systematically fed into our minds, white oppressive forces have created an elaborate prison for our minds. Presently, there are millions of black people thinking and responding the way they were programmed to think and respond. They don't even know that their thoughts and responses are the results of their programming. And they fight against those of us who tries to free their minds from the programming. They literally function as wardens of their own mental prisons. Those of us who don't critically think never notices our mental chains. The hidden fact is that millions of black people are functioning under an elaborate illusionary truth effect. An illusionary truth effect is when people have been made to believe that false information is true because of being constantly subjected to the false information. And they then begin functioning based upon the false information rather than what's actually true. It's the real black people's matrix. The real black people's matrix is a false worldview that has been grafted upon us and indoctrinated into our minds since birth through the white society's monopoly over information that we receive. They are the writers of everything that we believe, and they keep us believing lies that allows them to continue their subjugation and exploitation of us without any black resistance. This is all possible because if people are born within a society that indoctrinates their minds, being raised by parents whose minds have already been indoctrinated, lives within communities in which most people's minds are indoctrinated, then their indoctrinated mindsets becomes normal to them. Under these circumstances, all lies can be called truths. Thus, miseducation can be called education. The villains throughout history can be called the heroes. The greatest people throughout history can be called the lowest people throughout history. A false God can be called the one and only true God. And all lies can be called truths. Because these people don't know the truth, their minds are actually not their own. Their minds belongs to the creators of the lies that they've been misled to believe. Unfortunately, this is the hidden reality confronting we Africans throughout the diaspora that have been stripped of our true history, identity, culture, spiritual system, and have instead been indoctrinated with white mental enslaving lies. Case, point, and proof. The history we've been taught has been whitewashed to make our oppressors appear more significant throughout history than they truly in fact were, while simultaneously making us appear less significant than we truly were. Doing so provides the oppressors with a false historical platform that endorses their current position of social dominance over us. A false version of history that conveys a subliminal message that the oppressors are inherently superior to us and are therefore supposed to rule over our lives. According to white social scientists, true power lies in only what's perceived as being true rather than what actually is true. Because people function based upon their perceptions of what's true rather than what actually is true. Therefore, white social scientists determined a long time ago that by giving us a false version of history that falsely marginalizes us and falsely exalts Caucasians, it can condition us to perceive ourselves through a false inherent subordinate identity that aids the white society in maintaining its position of social dominance over our lives. To meet this objective, they've whitewashed many facts. They've turned many black historical figures white and have falsely given themselves credit for most achievements that were in fact made by black people, while falsely making us appear as being the leeches of society that haven't contributed much throughout history. After all, to teach the true history that most inventions that revolutionized the world were in fact either invented by black people or were directly inspired by early inventions made by black people, or to teach the true history that long before the Europeans invaded Africa, it was Africans that civilized Europe, and that Africans were building pyramids while Europeans were still living in caves, does not provide a historical platform that endorses the white society's current position of social dominance over black people. This whitewashing of history achieved that objective. Whenever the oppressors are writing all the narratives, they'll always write false narratives that aid them in maintaining their position of social dominance and control over the oppressed, and that facilitates their long-term oppression of the oppressed. This fact has remained consistent throughout history and is still true now in regards to we Africans living under white oppression. They lied to us from the beginning, and they lied to us about everything. History is a lie. Religion is a falsehood used to control. We fell for their lies because we didn't know that such level of deceit existed. We had no word to describe it, their level of deceit. And they still continues to lie to us. Education is miseducation used to indoctrinate us. Media is manipulation, and entertainment is distraction. The white society sits upon a throne of lies, lies that keeps the black masses mentally enslaved. Those lies also create and sustains false assumptions within the society that aids them in maintaining their social dominance over black people. They're doing this to us because it's the racist, narcissistic people they are. It's the way they've always been, and it's the only way they know how to be. I've never said that what I teach would be easily comprehended by all, nor did I say that overcoming it wouldn't be a daunting task. I only said that what I teach would be the truth, the absolute truth that begins the emancipation of your mind from white mental slavery. Those of us who know must teach African proverb. You are functioning based upon lies that come from your oppressors. And you've been conditioned through your colonized minds to never question the lies that your oppressors present to you. And that gives them their greatest power over you. They feed you lie that keeps you thinking in ways that serve the system of white supremacy. That lies a religion that keeps us passive. They manipulate us to perceive ourselves as being our own worst enemies. These things benefits the white society. And those of us who don't critically think never notices their mental change. It's time to wake up to our reality. One love and peace.